Hi guys, so it's Annie, obviously, of course. Who else would it be? Evil Twin? I'm just kidding. But I know I said that this account is gonna be kind of scary, so I want to start off my first video with a story time. I did the story time before, but it was so the lighting was so terrible, so at the start I deleted it off of this channel, so I'm gonna remake it now and post it back. Yeah, so before we get started, I wanted to tell you guys some music suggestions. Of course, I'm all about Have Mercy. If you don't know who they are or what those words mean, search it up. Great. So the song I have for you today is The Gates by Have Mercy. Oh, sorry, but my favorite song by Have Mercy is Drive and Plastic Covered Furniture, because those are the basic songs I listened to over the summer, because I had a drive playlist that I made because I was learning how to drive. And I got my license, so I'm a grown woman now. I'm just kidding. So let me play that for you guys. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can hear it, great. So this story time. This music does not fit the story time I'm trying to tell. So of course, most everyone has like uncles and aunties and stuff, but this is a ghost story, like I said. So I don't remember how old I was, but I think I was around 9 years old. I'm 20 as of right now, so it's been 11 years. My aunt was dating this man, and one day just magically came to my grandma's house and was like, "I'm married." And we're like, "Excuse me, what?" So so this man, I'm not gonna say his name because he's a beautiful angel now, but just out of respect, but he was my uncle through marriage, and I loved him dearly. So every weekend, okay, so my aunt, she has a daughter and a son, so, and of course her son had a daughter. That's confusing, but just know my first and second cousin, okay? Boom. Okay, so when I was a little kid, I grew up around my eldest cousin and my older cousin. My eldest cousin was my first cousin. My older cousin was my second cousin. That's so confusing. Okay, so I was little. I was like 9. I don't know if I think I was 9. I'm not 100% sure because I get a lot of ages mixed up because a lot happened when I was 9 years old, so I'm just kind of, everything I think it just happened at 9 years old, but I don't know. Anyway, so usually how things went when I was a little kid, I would ride the bus to my grandma's house, and either my aunt or my mom, I would either go home with my mom or I would go spend at my cousins with my aunt. So I'm calling her aunt like I call her aunt. I call her auntie. Anyway, we're gonna say aunt. So it was this specific weekend. I don't know if it was like, did we have school? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so I went home. I went home to my aunt with my aunt and my 2 cousins, and we spent the night at their house like we usually always do, because we were 3 musketeers. We loved each other, and we still do love each other. But of course, since we're older, I don't really see them as often as I used to. We're little. So okay, so this weekend I spent a night with my aunt and my uncle and my cousins, obviously. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my uncle. He is the perfect example of how I am today. He loves books. I've never went in his bedroom before, but when he passed away, I went in there and he had so many books, and I'm just like, I'm jealous. Like it was so many books, and it was so cool. Like his room was small, but it was like full of books. It was like a book nook. It was so cute. But anyway, so I think we spent the night over there that weekend. Then like I think the following week we had school, and it was one day we got home from school. We got dropped off at my grandma's house, and it was weird because my mom was at my grandma's house. I was like, why is my mom? I knew her car. So I was like, why is my mom here? Like, she works. Like, she usually working at this time. Like, I don't see her for another few hours. So we got in the house. When we were walking up to the driveway, I was already confused. I'm like, why is mom here? And I asked my cousins, I'm like, that's kind of weird that she's here. So we went to the house. No one said anything. Like, no one was really talking. No one said anything. It was weird, you know. It was just like, why is everybody so quiet? We walked in the house happy as day, laughing, giggling, full of sunshine. And everyone was just like looking, just torn. And I think my aunt was not, I don't know if my aunt was there or not, but I know my mom was, and my grandma, and I think maybe my other uncle, my actual blood uncle. And I remember, I don't know, I'm conflicted, but I remember asking mom, where was aunt, where was my auntie? And she was like, she's at the hospital coming back from the hospital. And I was just like, we were just like, why was she at the hospital? Of course, as a kid, it's kind of weird for parents to be like, oh, well, someone in the family died, you know what I mean? Because they have to, sometimes you don't really, you learn what that means, but when you're little, you don't really know what it means. But of course, we were like 9, 10, and like 14, I think. So we know what that was. So my mom was like, your uncle passed away like last night or this morning, I think, like early this morning. He had a heart attack. And I was just like, of course, as a kid, you're just like, what? Like, I just talked to him like literally yesterday. What? Of course, things were very different like that, but you know, you never know when that stuff's gonna happen. So I was confused. I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, I just called him. And I was literally, I think I remember this. I don't remember if it happened like this, but in my mind, I think it happened. I actually picked up the phone and I was like, no, I can call him. Like, I'll call him and he'll pick up the phone. And so my mom was just like, he passed away. So of course, as days went by, we were all sad, very sad. I mean, of course, like, me and my uncle, it's not like we didn't talk, but he was always kind of doing his own thing. He was either working or in his study bedroom nook area, reading his books or just kind of relaxing. And you know, so I mean, we talked to him, but it wasn't like full-blown 10-hour conversations every day, but you know what I mean. So I don't remember what day this was, but I remember going, this has been 8 minutes already. I haven't even got to the juicy part, I'm sorry. But I had to set the scene for you guys. So I don't remember what day this was. Maybe it was like a Friday. I don't really remember, but I know my aunt was like, hey, do you want to come with me to go get the last of get the last of her stuff and her kids' stuff, and just to pick up mail and stuff from my uncle's house, because they live with my uncle. And so we were driving out there. We got to his house, and his actual facts, I don't know if it was his sister or brother that stayed right next door. So we went over there to talk to them, just to be like, how are you doing, you know, all that kind of stuff. And we were talking to them for a while, and they were super sweet people. I don't really know where they are as of right now, but they were super sweet people. And we stayed there for like maybe an hour, and we're finna get ready to leave. My aunt was like, hey, are you ready to go? And I was like, sure. So I went outside and went to my aunt's car. My aunt had an Impala at the time. And I was looking at my uncle's house, because I was like, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to see this house or go to that house, because my aunt was moving out. So, and it's weird. Okay, so when I got to the Impala car, I turned to look at the house. The house was over here. The house was over here. And I looked towards the back of the house. That's where my uncle's shed was, and his truck and his car was. Okay, so weirdly enough, I saw someone standing out there, kind of looking like they were coming out the barn or peeking in the barn. And the thing is, I recognized this person immediately. I didn't even have to see a face. My uncle always wore a light blue shirt and like dark blue pants. That was his work uniform. And so I saw a man coming out the barn. I was like, I'm like, Annie, someone's in the barn. Of course, she's talking to his family, so they can't hear me. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? Is someone trying to steal from my uncle's house? Like, is someone stealing from his barn? I don't know. So the more I look, I'm like in a trance. I'm just staring at whoever this figure or the person or whatever this is over there. I'm staring at them. You know, I'm thinking it's my uncle, but I'm like, that's not possible because he died. So I'm staring at him. And I'm just like, just staring. And this figure, this person, or my uncle turns to look at me. And he's looking at me. And I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, as a kid, I'm just like, what is happening? Like, then he passed away, and we went to his I don't know if it was before his funeral or after his funeral, I don't really remember, but he had passed away. It was confirmed. It's 100%, like there was no chance, sadly. And I was standing there and I was looking at this person as I was looking at her coming closer, and I was like, oh sweet heaven, Jesus, I don't know what's happening. And I'm looking over at my aunt. I'm like, Aunt, hey, hello, hey, do you see what I'm saying? But she's all the way over there. She's still talking. She's slowly moving towards the car, but not fast enough, because I'm just like, someone's coming towards me. I'm like, okay, so I'm just sitting there staring, and I actually walk closer because I could feel something, you know? I could feel this presence or this person or this spirit sending me messages or something. I could feel something, some kind of connection. I could feel something. So I walk closer, he's walking closer, I'm walking closer, we're almost all up on each other, and I don't remember what he said, but I know I felt relief. I felt very happy. I felt that maybe he was saying goodbye, you know. And I think I remember him smiling. I remember his glasses, everything. And he said something. And as my aunt was coming closer to me, like coming off the cut, like if she walked a little closer, she would see this person standing right here looking at me, my uncle. And as she got closer, he waved, and then he walked off back towards his shed, and it disappeared. And my aunt came out the cut, and I was like, and I was crying. I was like, you know, just tears, and I didn't even know I was crying. And she was like, you ready to go? And I'm just like, oh, like, Annie, do you see that? Do you see him? And she looks and she's like, what you talking about? And I'm like, what? I don't know. Like, what do you mean what am I talking about? You don't see your husband over there? Like, do you not see him? Because I see him. So, that was that story. Of course, I have a theory. I believe that children and the elderly have a very close connection with spirits because they are so close to the other side. Like, children are just born, you know, they're kind of, their perception on life hasn't been sculpted that much, so they're kind of, they can see that type of stuff. And elderly, they're getting so up in age where they're getting close to dying because they're of old age, so I feel like they have a more percentage of seeing stuff like that too. Of course, there are people that can be like medium, that are like born to see that kind of stuff. But you know, that was my first time ever. That's the only time I've ever seen like a spirit or something that I believe to be a spirit. Of course, some people don't believe in that kind of stuff. I do, but that's just my philosophy on life. But and I do believe that he was saying goodbye to me. I don't specifically know why me. It wasn't like me and him had like a super close relationship, but I did love him, and he was always so sweet. And yes, so that's my story time of how I saw my deceased uncle and how I believe he said goodbye to me specifically. It's like I said, it's been like 11 years, possibly more. I miss him. Like I still perfectly remember his face, and it's crazy how people, they're fine this day, but the next day they're gone. So I'll like, piece of advice: if you know someone that you haven't talked to in a while, a family member, whether it's a friend, a family member, anyone, just call them, text them, be like, hey, how you doing? Just kind of get in contact with those people, because you never know when something bad can happen. Like I remember, you know, saying bye to my uncle as my auntie was taking us home the maybe like previous days, and then the next few days he passed away. So I guess that was my goodbye to him, and he said goodbye to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. I have I think 2 more kind of paranormal stories, and I hope you guys like this video. Remember, my name is Annie. You can follow me on my Instagram or my Twitter. I use Twitter more than anything. So yeah, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. I swear to God, I think I'm Shane Dawson or something.